how do we behave with the people who are dearest and closest to us? How do we behave in work? How do we behave when nobody's looking? When nobody's looking. No, are we seeking, because we're always creating, and how we behave and think and act and speak and so on is impacting our consciousness, right? And I remember years ago when I was new on the path in this lifetime, and when a lot of times when people are new on the path, they want to change everybody else. You ever notice that? You know, oh, I'm so excited about this truth. And then it's easy to notice when others aren't living the truth, isn't it? And then we want to make them over and change them. Anybody ever do that, or is that just me? I'm the only one in the room who's ever tried to do that? Well, my mother was a great teacher for me. She put her hands on her hips and said, "You think you're so perfect." Another thing she likes to say every now and then is charity begins in the home. Charity begins in the home. I met someone recently, he said his father was a missionary, and he was angry with his father. His father was out doing good to everybody, had time for everybody else, but not the son. Right? So easy to get so involved out there and create this image for everyone else of what a wonderful person we are and how generous and kind and loving or whatever it is for the whole world. But how are we with the people we're closest to? Our family, our parents, our kids, grandchildren, neighbors, partners, spouses. How are we with them? And how are we with ourselves? How are we with ourselves? Because how we are with ourselves expresses out to others. When you make a mistake, how are you with yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Everybody talks to themselves. Can you admit that? Don't we talk to ourselves? There's somebody talking in there. The problem is when it talks back. You know, when you answer yourself, then there might be a little, an issue. But we talk to ourselves. How do you talk to yourself when you make a mistake? Are you kind? Are you gentle? Are you encouraging? Do you learn from the mistake? Or are you berating of yourself? You say, "Oh, stupid idiot, I did it again," or "I'm such a schlemiel," or schlemazel, or Austin Pfeffer Incorporated, whatever that song meant, I don't even know. How are you when you talk to yourself? Do you encourage yourself? Are you gentle with yourself? Are you loving with yourself? You got to live the truth with yourself, right? And be kind and loving. If you're judgmental of yourself, guess what? You love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you're critical and mean to yourself, you're going to be critical and mean to other people. It's how it works. You can only give what you have. And if you have condemnation and criticism of yourself, I'm not saying, to just let it all hang out and just be however you feel in the moment and all. No, I'm not saying that, of course. It's a balance. But it's when you genuinely feel like you have made a mistake in your behavior to others or in your life, how do you treat yourself? Because that's where love begins. It begins by being kind and gentle and encouraging to yourself. Being your best cheerleader. Being, as the book said, being your best friend. How many of best friends to yourself? The more you can do that, the more you can be that to other people. That's what I find.